Hello, 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 everybody. My name is Dimebot, and this is Rise of the Tomb Raider. This is the sequel to the 2013 reboot of the series, Tomb Raider. As if we didn't already have a game named Tomb Raider, but whatever. So, in this video, we're going to take a look at the game. We're going to look at the PC-specific options for the PC port, because it has been out for a while on Xbox One now. So, if you don't wish to know about all the goodness in the options menu, and if that's the case, I don't understand why you're watching a PC gaming channel, but whatever. I'm going to put up a jump for you right now on the screen for when we get into actual gameplay. Those of you that want to see all the options and hear about the performance, stick around because here we go. So, we're going to come to display and graphics last. Let's go ahead and take a look at gameplay. So, you can turn vibration on or off for your controller, invert your Y-axis, change your aim sensitivity, change your difficulty mode. You can turn survival instinct beacons and glows on and off. This is basically detective vision from Batman. It'll kind of show you where to go. You can turn your online features off. You can put a broadcast frame up for spectating and streaming, and if you have a Razer Chroma device, you can change the chroma lighting. Audio and languages. Music volume slider, dialogue slider, sound effects slider, voiceover language, which you cannot change. You can change your text language, though. You can change it to French, you can change it to German, Italian, Spanish, Latin American. Subtitles on without color, on with color, and off. I'm going to leave them on without color for you guys. I would have wished for a master volume slider here, but I'm just nitpicking at this point. Mouse and keyboard. Completely rebindable controls along with alternates for everything. I love this. I have absolutely nothing to complain about here. Gamepad. You can see your gamepad controls. You can't rebind them. It's 2016, we can't rebind controllers. I don't understand why, but you can't, so boo. And Square Enix membership. This is some Square Enix link to your stuff. I'm going to have to blur that out right there, aren't I? Good job, Dime. Let's jump into display. So, you've got your brightness slider, full screen on or off, and exclusive full screen on or off. I'm not sure why they went with this. The regular full screen is a borderless, basically. They claim that this will allow you to get better in performance, and also that it makes switching to different programs more cumbersome, which that part's right. It has a pronounced tendency to crash. So yeah, it's more difficult to switch to different programs in exclusive. You can change your monitor, which I love for people like me that have multiple monitors. Resolutions, got a wide range available. I don't understand why this isn't a drop-down though. Refresh rate, you can change that. VSync on or off, double buffered and triple buffered, and of course, anti-aliasing. You've got SMAA, SSAA 2, 4. I would leave this on SMAA. FXAA looks horrible, and honestly, for the performance hit that SSAA causes, it doesn't look that much better than SMAA. Also, I'm going to note for the purposes of this video, I am not running the SLI profile. I'm only using one GTX 980 because, well, most people don't have two GTX 980s. Graphics. Let's get into the real meat of it here. So you've got your presets. You've got custom, you've got lowest, low, medium, high, very high. You'll notice up here reloading textures. This game will stream textures on the fly as you change the settings. So that's a nice little touch. You can of course change your texture quality. Anisotropic filtering goes from 2x and trilinear all the way up to 16. Shadow quality, you can go to very high with it. Sunsoft shadows, very high. HBAO, which is ambient occlusion, and it gives you a tooltip for each of these, which is nice. So this is going to be adding depth by doing realistic lighting increases in quarters. I would leave this to on. HBAO Plus is a huge resource hog. You can see that even here on the menu, when I turn it on, we start losing frames. Depth of field, level of detail, tessellation now. Tessellation, the screen space reflections, these can definitely have an impact. So this is going to be things like, I'll show you Lara walking through snow and the snow will deform accurately. Screen space reflections, I've never been able to figure out what this effect is. Dynamic foliage, this has a low, medium, and high or off setting. This is going to be interactive foliage and grass, so when you walk through low-lying bushes and grass, they actually react. This is going to be blur, vignette blur, and motion blur. Now, I'm capturing this with shadow play. I'm going to leave these on for the purposes of this video. Note that turning them off doesn't really seem to make a huge difference as far as I'm concerned with performance. Pure hair. This is a GameWorks effect. This is going to make Lara's hair work better. Turning it on and off can definitely increase graphics. So I'm just going to leave it to on lens flares and screen effects. So it's a pretty good options menu. Now I'm going to leave everything as is for right now. May tweak it a little bit when we get in game, but I want to kind of show it running on higher settings. And that being said, we're going to hop back and take a look. You have your single player options, you have expeditions, which is multiplayer, online leaderboards, and then the marketplace. This will allow you to buy cards for expeditions. And oh look, you can buy them for real money if you want. Oh, well, it didn't ask me on that one. Just football cards. You can buy these for real money, so if you are not a fan of microtransactions in your game, there you go, purchase with money. Well, they're in here. Fortunately, they are for the multiplayer. Let's go ahead and continue. And I'm going to be jumping around a little bit, showing you guys some different environments. Now, this game is not installed on an SSD for me right now, but the loading times aren't really that bad. One thing you will notice when we get in is that this game attempts to hide some of its loading by streaming in textures once you're in game, so you'll notice the frame rate will probably dip significantly and then begin to tip back up as the game finishes its loading. So I appreciate trying to shorten up the loading times, but it can make your first few seconds in gameplay a little sluggish. Now, I'm going to be playing with an Xbox One controller. You can play it with mouse and keyboard. You can also hot swap between them. I tend to like the controller a little bit better for this. Although I've noticed some weird input lag sometimes with either method of control, so it's a little strange. So you notice we just dropped down to 20 frames per second, and it's going to slowly start coming back up. So we're staying at sub 30 right now, which is not good.
If you found any more gold, I've got gear for you.
Right. So this guy sells you
Try to be discreet, okay?
weapons from the black market, and you give him coins and things that you found. Let's go ahead and drop this a little bit. One of the problems I do have with this game is that it seems to have some pretty weird issues with the port. It doesn't appear to be optimized very well. I'm not at all certain why. So, this outdoor area, you can get a nice sense of the scale of the game. All that over there, you can go climb on, you can go jump around, you can explore if you want to. There's an ancient coin cache nearby. You notice that the textures, the lighting, everything looks really nice in this game, and it has finally finished loading and is back up to a decent frame rate. Notice her hair blowing in the wind. This is the pure hair. Turning that off is a significant jump to your frame rate. And here is her Batman vision, as it were. So we need to head in this direction. As with the last game, Lara is animated very smoothly. Actually, some really nice animations in this game. Oh.
More Soviet propaganda.
So you'll come across these old Russian or Greek or Mongol, lots of different ancient texts, and you can translate them, and translating them will often lead you to different little goodies, hidden caches, and it also lets you gain some experience. So it's always worth looking around and exploring. Crafting tool. So apparently we need a... Oh, what is this? Piston suppressor now. Apparently we need a combat knife at some point, but let's go ahead and climb up. Climb up here, Lara, please. There we go. So, what does this game do different than the last Tomb Raider? Not a ton, really. We'll show you the campfire when we get there, but that should look instantly familiar to anybody that played the last one. You're still going to be sneaking around. You're going to be scavenging for resources. You're going to be, in this game, trying to stop the Trinity.
We've had trouble with the natives. Our communications were offline, but
A
Everything
little
is
bit of
now
a
under control.
story cutscene here. You're going to be scavenging for supplies, upgrading your weapons, upgrading your gear, and exploring tombs.
You sent me for a reason. I was chosen for
And
this.
in
I
my
will
opinion, the
succeed.
tombs are probably still the most fun part of the game. They're unique, they're interesting. We're getting a rifle to the face. Oh, this doesn't bode well for us.
Lara, are you okay?
The voice acting, as always, is top-notch.
Hannah, what are you doing here? I don't know.
You really feel connected with the characters. Constantine, and particularly the main villain, is actually really
What's
fun.
happening, Lara? I'm scared.
The plot's not amazing, but it's
I'm
not
so
terrible
sorry.
either. It's fun.
I didn't think they'd come after you.
We're gonna
This
go
is
ahead
all
and
my
skip
fault.
this real quick. And we're gonna skip that.
What do you know about them?
A sect. Ancient and secretive. They
If you
believe
sit here
themselves
indoors,
to
we've
do
got a
the
lot
work of
more,
God.
a lot
From
better
what
frame
I've
rate.
seen, they're pretty far from holy.
And this is one of the problems the game has, is that the frame rates vary wildly from indoors to outdoors.
They'd have heard that.
All the more reason to get out of here.
But this is a good example of Lara's animations. They're really good, really draw you into the moment, and a lot of the game is destructible, which adds the sense of moving through crumbling ruins and structures that aren't exactly the safest.
Is there a way out?
Now,
No,
it
but I found something.
is
that
a
might be useful.
semi-open world game, so there are open areas that you can explore. They're not fully open, though, in the sense that maybe a Metroidvania game would be. However, they are large enough to allow you to really get a feeling of being able to go around and discover new things and get off the beaten path and
Careful.
see some
We
things.
don't want to attract attention. Can you get out?
Yes, yes, we can.
Wait. Let me out. I can help you.
I can't trust you.
We may not be enemies. I can see that. I suspect you do too.
I work better alone.
I know the layout. I know the land.
As you can see right here, her facial expressions,
I'm
all the
not
characters' facial expressions are really, really good.
Maybe I can offer you something more valuable. I know what you're all after.
I'm just going to skip
We have
this real
to
quick.
move. The guards will be coming through on rounds any moment.
Do you
Obviously,
know the way
cut it
out?
Yes. I've had some time to study this place.
How long were you in the cell?
Long enough to learn that Constantine won't stop until he's found what he's looking for.
And here's a point that I find aggravating.
The
You'll
divine
notice that she
source.
keeps stopping
Is it here?
is because he hasn't moved on and the game wants
Trust
me to hear
must
this
go both
cutscene.
ways, Lara.
What is this?
A history lesson. This place has its own scars.
Wow.
The Soviets sent prisoners here to
This
work
is
in the
pretty cool.
mines. Those are ancient.
You'll find
What's
also
the-
these audio
I finally
logs
laid
scattered
my
around,
trails bare.
and
You'll have to ask them.
I have a
We have to go.
perk
We aren't safe
to
here.
regain or gain
It was
extra
a work
experience
camp.
by exploring. It's called Avid Learn. So, a really nice little perk and part of the customization of leveling up in this game. And here is a chest we can open. So, very much as with the first game, you use your tools in a variety of ways to interact with the levels. So, you always kind of feel like you're doing something
It
new and
doesn't
unique
look
in
like
this game.
mining. It looks like an excavation.
It's, possible.
Which
They
I
dug
find to be
anywhere
really
caught a hint of
satisfying.
wealth.
And now let's get out of here. what I'd really like to do is get out of this area and show you guys a little bit of the open world gameplay and some of the different areas that are available in this game.
Our best chance of escape is to make our way to the old train yard.
And what then?
My village is in a valley on the other side of the mountain. We'll be
You
safe
kind of
there.
want to always be looking for resources. So, how does the game play as far as the controls? Well, it's snappy. It responds fairly well. I've got some input lag every now and again, but for the most part, you have pretty good control over what you're doing. And the controls are intuitive. Lara has a good sense of weight and momentum behind her. And as you can see, obviously the game is just simply stunning. And it really feels like you're on an adventure as you go through mines, as you explore ancient ruins.
I'll take care of it.
In fact, I think what we'll do is exit to the main menu real quick and hop back in a different spot and show that to you guys because I have a save game. There we go. I will take a look, travel around to some different locations, and do a little combat and kind of show you guys some of the other core systems of the game. Now that we've seen some cinematics and seen how good it looks up close. But yeah, back out in the open. Let's actually look at the campfires. So here is where you can upgrade Lara. You have skill points you can spend in one of 3 different trees: the Brawler tree, the Hunter tree, and the Survivor tree. Each one of them is going to give you different perks. For example, I have Lightfoot. I can fall a substantial height and press B to roll when land, and I won't get damaged. I can also gain a chance at recovering my arrows when looting enemies I killed with the bow. And for Brawler, dodge counter. And also, enemies killed while in stealth will automatically be looted for resources. So, this is very much not the old Lara, where from the first game, where she's very upset about killing people. This is the hardened killing machine Lara. And you'll notice that now that we're in an outdoor area, the frame rate's a little bit all over the place, but that's okay, because it's kind of stabilized a little bit. Actually, one thing I particularly like is some of the little sliding animations. Here's something good to show you guys. There is actually a challenge tomb nearby. Also, out first, a lot of areas are tree branches are able to be climbed on, so you might get a little bit of an Assassin's Creed-y vibe from it. But what we're going to do is we're going to head for that challenge tomb, and I'll show you guys a little bit of that. So out in the wild out here, you're going to be hunting. You're going to be, in fact, you know what? You're getting on my nerves, dear. Have a poison arrow. Oh, you don't want to die to that either? There we go. Now, you can craft resources on the fly like I'm doing right here. I'm replacing that arrow, and as long as I have the mushrooms and other items, I can replace that poison arrow as well. So making sure you always have ample resources is key, because they're not only used for crafting arrows and things like that, they're also used to craft upgrades to your equipment, such as the ability to a knock, which will allow me to hold my arrows back longer. Here we go. So there is a tomb near here, and we're going to go ahead and walk on down. There's lots of little contextual things that really add to the game with the developer's attention to detail, like her automatically pulling out the glow stick, but also hanging on to it for a minute, and then putting it away. And just traversing in the game is a lot of fun. You have all these options, like using your hooks, and of course the rope is in there, and the tools from the first game are still in here as well. You just need to unlock them, because apparently Lara lost them or something. I'm not really sure. So here we are, down in the tomb, and That looks painful. Can we just drop down? I've already drained the water from this place, so head on over here. And this is where I really get some enjoyment out of the game, is this core of exploration.
Oil cask.
Here we have another campfire. Also, you'll see that Lara looks great when she gets wet. That didn't sound
Water's
right.
eroding everything. At this rate, there won't be much left in a few decades.
Ancient cisterns. So here you can get an idea of the scale of the environments in this game and the tombs and just how gorgeous everything looks. So we're going to head on over here and just see what we can do. And something's bound to go horribly wrong right here. But these provide a great bit of little puzzling fun there, as they were in the first game. Very much callbacks to the original Tomb Raider, allowing you to puzzle and explore your way around to solve these ancient tombs and get to some really neat treasures. Everything is given a little bit of a backstory by Lara, examining things, giving you some feedback on what they are, the people, cultures behind them. It's really a nice touch, and as I said before, I enjoy doing these sometimes more than I enjoy doing the main part of the game, which speaks to how well they're designed. Just not to say that the main gameplay is not fun, but sometimes I grow tired of the constant shooting and killing, and I just want to come into a tomb and steal everything that isn't nailed down. Well, that didn't do very much, now did it? Also dive underwater if you so choose, although Lara will drown relatively quickly. She also does not have the magical ability to jump out of water, which is a refreshing change from a lot of other games. So yeah, very much enjoy the tombs. Let's go ahead and climb on out of here. So you guys might be asking yourself at this point, you know, there's a little bit of performance issues. It's a gorgeous game. Is it worth buying? Yeah, it is worth buying. Just be aware that there may be some patches coming out to kind of help with some of this stuff, and that the performance is not always that incredible. However, it seems to be finding the balance between what your hardware can support and what the game wants to do. It is a resource hog. It's a huge VRAM hog. But once you get past that, it actually is quite a fun game. There's a lot to like in it. A lot of good story, a lot of good design elements. And I am looking forward to finishing the rest of it, maybe on stream, maybe not. But yeah, guys, that has been a look at Rise of the Tomb Raider, the PC port. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hit the subscribe button. My name is Dimebot, and I will see you next time as soon as I finish looting this ancient and no doubt filled with priceless and irreplaceable values tomb. Because I'm a jerkbot, and it's what I do. Like what you saw? Click subscribe so you don't miss anything, or click on one of these other videos.